Hello everyone, how are you? Here they know what happened on Alone Season 9, the finale, the final episode of Season 9. The final three, Tomojin, Pablo, Carrie Lee. Tomojin tapped out at the beginning of the show, folks. That was a shocker. Last week it ended with Pablo debating if he was going to tap out or not. But they had threw me off guard when it showed Tomojin tapping out. He decided that he's had no food for 8 days. He had a dream with his mother saying that she was proud of his journey and that up to day like 60 something before he tapped out. And he decided, I can't go on no more. That's a sign that I made my mother proud and my other family proud. So he called it quits. But he tore down a shelter, took the tarp, and wrapped some stuff in the tarp, wrapped it up, kind of made like a statue looking thing out of it. He tried to. Then he decided when he called in the chopper not to pick him up at his campsite. He's just going to walk a few miles, just enjoy nature and the nice, beautiful scenery one last time before he gets picked up. So the chopper picked him up in a clearing somewheres. So it came down to Pablo and Carrie Lee, folks. And they showed both their journeys up until day 75. Pablo, like on day 65, realized, I need fire. I gotta stay warm. I can't do this starvation challenge / no heat in the shelter challenge as well. So he got his fire started, but it's been so long since he had a fire going that the homemade rusty can chimney, I'm gonna call it, stove fame, it wasn't starting up because it's been at least a couple weeks before he had a fire going inside his shelter, right? So he finally got that going. Day 67, he was out on the lake grabbing using a plastic cup he had found to gather some cold water out of the hole he made in the lake there, in the ice, and take it back to camp, boil up, drink it. And he said, I can't even go looking for food if I wanted to. He said, I'm totally exhausted. It's even hurting me to walk to the lake back and forth now because of the lack of food he's having and that. On day 69, he felt, I can't go on no longer. Then he said, I'm also noticing I'm doing stuff that I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, why did I do that? Or why did I say this? And that, like, his mind was playing tricks on him. On day 75, he was debating to call it quits or not. He's like, my mind's telling me I can go a few more days, but my body's telling me I can't go on no much longer. Then it goes to Carrie Lee, showing her journey up to 75 days. She was drinking water out of her cast iron pot there she had right in the front of her shelter. She's still wondering, man, it's cold out. Well, yeah, your shelter's not even closed up, the door there. You should have put a door on there. But she didn't. She toughed it out with cold weather blowing right into her shelter, folks. I give her credit there. 2 thumbs up with that. Because I would have had a door built to keep the cold out. On day 67, she went out looking for food. And she realized she couldn't even pull on the bowstring all the way completely back. She had no strength to pull on it at all. So that was a sign that I can't, even if I found something, I won't be able to kill it. So she went back to camp. And then she decided, I'm going to make some snow skis out of some outer wood to make it easier to travel on in the snow. But then she just felt exhausted, couldn't do that. On day 75, she started doing the same thing Pablo was doing, like debating, like, can I go on much longer? My body's telling me I'm done. Lack of food, exhausted, I can't go on no more. But my mind's telling me you can do this. She broke down, started crying, and realized I can't go on much longer. I miss my family and that, and my body's just totally worn out with the lack of food and stuff. So she called it quits on day 75, folks. Carrie Lee came in second place. And then she found out she came in second place. And she's like, really? Like, if I known that there was only 2 of us left, I could have gone a few more days. But she never complained once about her journey up to the 75 days. She loved it all. She had a fun time. And that overall. She took a sign she had in her shelter she brought with her. She took that back as a memory and some other items. So Pablo won Alone season 9, folks. Pablo won it. I gotta say, the 20-day starvation thing kind of worked in his favor half. Like, the starvation thing worked, but the heat, he fouled on that one. He had to get the heat going in the game. But it is funny what they did to him. On day 75, he got a call that a medical checkup was happening. He's like, oh, shit. They know I'm going to be sent home because the weight loss, I've lost weight. I'm dehydrated. That's the fastest I ever seen Pablo move in my life. He jumped out of that sleeping bag, started drinking water, left, right, and center. Got outside, got a campfire going. Medical team showed up. He's just standing there like, hey guys, what's up? Nothing going on. I'm fine. Then they started doing a checkup on him. They're like, wow, like you lost a lot of weight. Yeah, dehydrated. And he's like, oh no, I'm gonna get sent home. Then he turned around and his girlfriend was behind him. Which, in case some of you don't know, you know when you won Alone, when like a family member or loved one shows up, then you know you're the last one standing. So he got excited that he had won it, but then all started breaking down, realizing it was a tough journey for him. There was some days he thought he could not do it, but he kept pushing onwards. He took her inside, Jennifer, I believe that was her name, his girlfriend, took her inside the shelter, showed her. And then Pablo was like, asked the producers of the show, and they was like, can I ask you a favor? And this was that, can me and her just stay here for a couple days in the wild? Like, no, you can't. He laughed about it. He won $500,000, folks. He says he's going to use that to take care of his family, his friends, put some of the money aside to help him out down years on the road in case hard times come, stuff like that. So Pablo won Alone season 9, folks. Congratulations, Pablo. Now, next week is the start of the new series of Alone called Alone Frozen, where 10 contestants are going to be dropped off in Labrador, Canada, where these people were, but they're getting dropped off now in winter. Like, unlike these other people like Pablo, Tomojan, that they had time to build a shelter, get food stored up, and that. These people, these former contestants on the show, like season 1 to season 9, season 8, former contestants, they're not going to have the luxury of having a shelter ready or food stored up. They're going to be dropped in the middle of winter where the lake's frozen. There's no shelter. There's no food stored up. That's going to be challenging. And it's a 50-day challenge. They only have to go until 50 days. Unless 50 days come and there's more than one person left, they'll have to go past 50 days. But the limit is a 50-day challenge for sure. Can't wait to see that series, folks. Let me know below. Were you shocked and happy that Pablo won it? Were you rooting for Tomojan or Carrie Lee? Or were you rooting for someone else in the show that tapped out early on? Stay safe, everyone. Too sweet. Bye.